Hello there, YouTube. I hope all y'all are having a blessed day. In today's video, we're going to be making some embellishments for our journals. I was originally just going to be using scrap paper, ephemera, lace, fabric, and just kind of making little clusters. And then I went to the post office and I got this book, and this book is filled with stunning images of butterflies. So that inspired me, and I have some ideas. So let's make some butterfly embellishments for our journals. And let me turn the camera around and we'll get started. Here's the book, and I have a whole bunch of cutout butterflies here in various sizes and orientations. Okay, here's the half of one. I have some cool ones here that I've not figured out quite how to use yet. These are double-sided, so I'm thinking perhaps envelope windows, but those are all double-sided. This one's going to become a pocket. These are not double-sided, but I've thought that they could be like a page tab. These are single-sided. They could just be glued down. They could be teared out. They could be made into pockets. This is going to be a tuck spot. So that's where I am. So let's look through the book. And here is my first one. And that was using a very large image of a butterfly. There's the back half. And all I did was fussy cut out the butterfly. And then on this side, I added I glued up some lace to the very edge. And then I just put a wee bit of glue down the center. So it has become a nice little tuck spot there. And on the other side, another tuck spot. Here I have just a little decoration, a little page tab or decoration. And this has some fabric, torn fabric, a piece of lace. And then I glued on a butterfly. And I sewed this onto the page just with a few stitches. And here is another square photo. And I've just turned it into a tuck spot. I sewed it down. Here is a little cluster that I made, and I stapled this onto the page. Now here is one where we could put one of these double-sided butterflies on this side and then flip it over and you'll have another butterfly over here. Here I have another little tuck spot. He's just glued down here and the very base of his wings. Here's a little page tab that I just stuck a piece of batik fabric under, folded the butterfly over the edge of the page, and then sewed it down quickly. It could have been glued as well. That can also be a small tuck spot. Here's another tuck spot. This was a very large image, and only half of it was in the book, I believe, or the other half got cut in half when I was cutting something else out. But again, it's just a nice little tuck spot. Here's another interesting tuck spot. I just put glue here, here, and here. Oh, and on the tail. And it just sits in there nicely. On here, I just glued a little butterfly on, just to give it a little bit of fun. Here's another little image that I just glued down the two sides and made it a tuck spot. And I turned this butterfly into a little notebook. So you have a little journaling space there. And that tucks in here. Here is another element. This was some of this packaging material. I cut off a section and just glued the butterfly to it. And it's actually a hidden paper clip. So if you look under here, you'll see the paper clip. I don't have any plain paper clips, so I didn't make it permanent. I just stuck a little washi tape on there to try and keep the butterfly stuck to the back of the paper clip. But that's supposed to be a hidden paper clip. Oh, here we have some fun. I took a large image of some flowers out of the Whole Seed catalog from Baker Creek Seeds, and I glued it across 2 pages. And I made little slits behind the flowers here, and I put a backing on them to make little pockets. So that goes in like that. This one goes in like that. And what I did was on the back of this flower, I went around the, after I made the slit, I took a piece of scrap paper and I backed the pocket and then glued the flower down. And this way the pocket didn't get ruined by the glue. Let's go back and see how we did these things. So this one was relatively easy. I took a large butterfly and I carefully folded it in half. So I folded that in half, and you can see that, and it opens up like that. So let's go to the third signature and add it in somewhere. We could put it right here, right on the front page of the third signature. So I'm going to just take a little bit of glue on the body of the butterfly, and I'm going to glue it down. You don't need a lot of glue, just a wee bit. There. That's all you need to do. Just squeeze it. Glue dries quick. This is a good project for fast drying glue. So now he's there and he'll dry and he'll become a tuck spot. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a wee bit of glue to the base of the wings, just to get a little more oomph. Not a lot, just a wee bit. And you could use a little bullnose clamp on there if you wanted to. So that's the first one. Let's go back and see. That's this one. So that's just a little bit of fabric. We'll take a strip of fabric. Here's a pretty piece of some watercolor star kind of fabric. And now we need a bit of lace. Okay, so it makes it like a little banner. And I'll make the lace a wee bit shorter, and then I have to tear up the center of the fabric. Okay, so I tore up to about 3/4 of an inch away. And I'll put the lace on here, and then we're going to take a small, I have this one, but it's too large. Let me cut one out. So here is a single. And I'm just going to quickly fussy cut around it. And I'm not going to sew this one on. What I'm going to do is take it to the page I want to put it on, and we will staple it on. So if you don't have a sewing machine or you don't like to sew, you can just staple it on, or you could glue it on or paper clip it on. This is just a tuck spot. So we can use this piece as the tuck spot. We could put it here. So all I'm going to do is take my glue and I'm going to glue down this side and this side. Doesn't need a whole lot of glue. There we go. Okay, so you can use a little rag to wipe off any excess glue. A little journal card. I'm not going to leave it in there because the glue is still wet, but there you go. You can tuck that in like that. Okay, here's another little cluster. So we take a bit of craft paper. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. And we're going to take another one of the one-sided butterflies. You don't have to cut it out if you don't want to. You could leave it square. There's that. Now we need a bit of lace. Oh, that's kind of pretty. I'll take a chunk of that. Take a chunk of that. There we go. That. And I'm going to fold that in half. And put that down here. Like so. Put that on top of it. Put that on top of that. And then we have just some pretty stuff. And I'm going to staple this together. Okay, it goes right down the body, so that's good. See it here. Again, you can glue it, you can paper clip it, or you can staple it. And for the sake of time, I am going to staple it down. Okay, so now he's got 2 staples there. But that's perfectly fine for junk journaling. And again, you can use this as a tuck spot if you want. Here is half of one. Again, it's just a little tuck spot, a profile shot. Let's put it on the envelope. We'll put him right here. Again, we're just going to take a wee bit of glue, put some glue down his body, base of his wings, and press down, wipe off any excess glue, and now he'll be a tuck spot. We have this little tab that we can do. So I will cut out one of the smaller butterflies and we'll make a tab out of him. Oh, he's pretty. All right, so I'm going to take this metal ruler and use it to bend it around half, and we're going to grab a piece of fabric. I kind of like that fabric, and I'm just going to fold this in half. I'm going to leave these strings because I like them. Put it on like that. Let's put them on this page. So he'll just be a little tab, a wee bit of glue here, and then a wee bit of glue under here. And that's got that side. Do a wee bit of glue under here, and a wee bit of glue here. Okay, you could use a clothespin or a bullnose clip to squeeze that, but I'm just going to hold it for a few seconds. Okay, so here's a butterfly tuck spot, and he's only half a butterfly. So what you can do is you can actually cut this one in half, or I think this one is easy enough for you to see. So I had half a butterfly, and I sewed down the length of his body on the very edge of the page. It's about maybe 1/4 of an inch or less, and then it just becomes a little tuck spot. So I won't repeat that. What I'll do is I'll repeat this one, and this is glued here, 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 and here, and it becomes a really cute little tuck spot. So let's go to the third signature. So for this, I'm going to glue it down here, here, and here, and that'll be the tuck spot. Now, if you want this to be a little bit more beefy, you can put it on a backing piece of cardstock first. And now we have a little tuck spot here like that. That's how that one works. We could do the notebook. And I have paper here that we can tear down to be a notebook. Now we have a cute little notebook here. I'm going to take my metal ruler and bend this in half, like so. And I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew down here. The alternative is your trusty stapler. So let's try and do that for this one. I'm going right on the edge. There we go. So there is our little notebook. Let's make a pocket. I was going to make a pocket. Just along the bottom and the sides. And here's just a little quick tip. Rather than wasting your money on paper towels, baby wipes, etc., you could just tear up an old shirt. And then you can also use the threads that come off of that shirt in your journal. But I just use old shirts. Okay, so there is our pocket. Not going to push all the way down to the bottom because I don't want it to get into the glue. Another cute little thing you can do is on these pages, there are all these little icons that tell you a little bit about the particular butterfly they're showing. And I thought that they were cute. So I cut them out and I glued them on back to back to the ends of the signature thread. So I just made cute little tabs there. This is the last thing that I wanted to show you how to do. I have taken flowers, a large bundle of flowers, and cut around them. And now I have these two-sided butterflies we can stick in the pockets. And there it is. This will just fit here, and I have another two-sided butterfly here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I am going to cut around this flower and this flower until it gives me a pocket big enough for this. And these are very frilly flowers, so say frilly flowers 5 times fast. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm not going to concern myself with the frills. Okay. And that has to go a wee bit more. So now this will slip in there like so. Put it on a bit of an angle. And now what I will do is I will take a look at the back side here. I will mark the bottom of it, and I have a scrap piece of paper here. You can put it like that. Okay. 2 pencil marks. And we can, all right, so I am going to put that like so. Where's my glue? Doesn't need a lot of glue. So there we have our pocket, and there's a bit of glue in there. So what I think I will do is I will stick a piece of paper in here until I know it's dry. It'll dry pretty quick. And we'll just let it dry. You can also take your bone folder and run it along the edges. And we can put it in the narrow way also. So we can just slip it in there like that. All right, so that fits there like that. It doesn't need to be trimmed or anything. Get my glue, and I'm just gonna go around the perimeter. Glue it down. Take my rag, wipe any excess up, and now we have a nice little pocket that we can put a butterfly in. So there you have it. Let's do a quick run through and see what we've done. We have the large butterfly folded across a page edge and becoming 2 tuck spots. You can glue fabric or lace on the edge if you prefer, if you like. And then we have a nice little charm here, a little dangle, just a little cluster. It's a piece of fabric that's torn up the middle, a piece of lace, and glue down a little butterfly on there. You can choose to fussy cut it out, or you can leave it square. And then I just quickly did a few stitches here. And here is a square photo of a butterfly sewn down to become a corner tuck spot. And then we have a cute little cluster here. We've got a piece of craft paper or Amazon shipping paper and 2 pieces of lace and a butterfly, and we have stapled this onto the page. And again, if you have window envelopes and you have a 2-sided image like this, you can glue them on here like that. And then when you turn the page over, you can see it. And I guess I could actually do that. So I will put glue just around the very edge of the back one. And not a lot, it's not going to need a boatload. Just a wee bit along the edge. Put it down the way you want it. Wipe up the extra glue. So now you've got a pretty little butterfly on each side. We have a little corner tuck spot right here. We have a little page tab here with some fabric behind it. We have a large half of a butterfly. The other half was not usable because of where it was, so I sewed it down here, and it is a tuck spot and it works quite nicely. We have another butterfly where I glued the tip of this feather, the body, and this feather, and it becomes an ornamental tuck spot. I just took a small butterfly and put it on, glued it right on one of those flowers, and I really like the way it looks. It's really sweet. Let me show you. Very pretty. Okay, we have a torn corner pocket, and we have a sewn notebook. Just folded the butterfly over the top of the paper and sewed down the top, and now you've got a nice little notebook there and the torn corner pocket. And then we have the flowers that have had pockets created with the two-sided butterflies in the pocket. And then we have another little tuck spot here. This was glued on, so I took the butterfly, folded him in half, and applied a wee bit of glue to the body and to the base of the wings. And then we have another little element here, same thing with the fabric and the lace and the butterfly, and I actually stapled that to the page. And you can get, I've seen different staples. You can get rainbow colored staples. So I think I'm gonna get me some of them because stapling is the way to go. Okay, here's another little tuck spot here, like so. And another little cluster. Again, I stapled it on because why not? And here is another little butterfly tuck spot down here on the envelope. Again, here's a window. You could put another two-sided one there. And then we have another tab here, butterfly tab. He was glued on. He was wrapped around the page edge with some fabric behind him. And here is another tuck spot here. And here is a pocket and another little stapled notebook. And then we have this that we just finished, which is a hidden pocket for your butterfly. And that is the end of it. So I hope you had fun with the butterflies. I really was very inspired when I got that book and I opened it. And yes, I did cut up the book. I completely disassembled it, and I'm merrily cutting butterflies out as I need them or as I want them. And I plan on doing much more with butterflies. I love butterflies. Butterflies and hummingbirds. I mean, you know there's a God. Where else would the hummingbirds and the butterflies come from? They are just so spectacularly beautiful and delicate. And he put them here for our enjoyment. So I hope you will give this a try. It doesn't have to be butterflies. It could be birds. It could be flowers. I have garden books. I mean, you could cut out the cantaloupe if you want. I could go for a cantaloupe right about now. If they don't sell, get them from the thrift store, because if they don't sell from the thrift store, they will go to the dump, and we don't want to see them go to the dump. So it's better that you buy them and cut them up and enjoy them. You can use the book pages for painty papers to make journals. There's an endless amount of things that you can do with them. You can use the book covers for journal covers, and you can do all sorts of fun things with a thrifted book. So go get yourself some and start playing. So I had so much fun playing in my little sidekick journal with you, and I hope you enjoyed the video. It's not that elaborate. It's just simply cutting things out and gluing them down, but I tried to add a little creativity to it. I'm going to get out of here right now and get to work on the next video. So I want to thank you all so very much for watching. I love you all so very much, and I will see you right back here at 70 Acres Studio with our next video real soon. I love you all. God bless.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. You are fair.